Hey, what's up, guys? These are my early leans for UFC Fight Night, Roman Dolidze versus Anthony Hernandez. I think there's a lot of fun fights on this card. And also, like, these are early, so maybe there will be some pick changes. Look out for my changes on the UFC predictions tracker unless I make another video. But let's start off the card. Okay, starting off the card is Uros Medic versus Gilbert Urbina. And again, these are like my early leans. Maybe there will be some pick changes because I think this is kind of a close fight. I am leaning more the Euros Medic side. Gilbert Urbina did the only win in the UFC is against Orion Koshki, and I did pick him to beat Charles Radke. In hindsight, Radke's not that bad. Um, he lost a Brian Battle and got knocked out by Trayshawn Gore. His brother was in the UFC as well, Gilbert Urbina. I forget his name. But we saw like he does have like some power. Euros Medic though, I think he's the better striker. I think like his chin is slightly better. I know that he got knocked the fuck out by Puniheli Soriano, but yeah, it was well timed and yeah, I think Uros Medic is gonna knock out Gilbert Urbina in round one or two. But again, I'm not super confident. Now, Jocelyn Edwards versus Priscilla Cachoeira. Cachoeira, all she kind of has is like power. She has a lot of power. I don't like the way she looks when she gets out grappled, which Jocelyn Edwards is probably going to do because Jocelyn Edwards can grapple. And like I think she'll wet blanket her, and I think she is the better striker. I think like the only worry I have in this fight is if Priscilla Cachoeira catches Jocelyn Edwards, but also Jocelyn Edwards has not been knocked out. I she got a little bit hurt by Eileen Perez, but besides that, I haven't noticed too many like moments where she was like hurt or dropped. She just knocked out Chelsea Chandler in round one, which is impressive in female weight class, even though Priscilla Cachoeira is coming off a knockout to Josiane Nunes, but Josiane Nunes kind of sucks. She lost to Chelsea Chandler, and Cavalcanti's not that bad of a loss, so not split, but it was not a split. She definitely lost that fight. Anyway, I'm going to go with Jocelyn Edwards to get this done by decision, but like round three is calling me for some reason, be it submission or knockout, but I don't know. Maybe also they're both coming off first round knockout wins. Anyway, I'm not going to say every single option. There's draw as well. There's anyway. So next is Elijah Smith versus Toshiomi Kazama, who just beat Charlampos Gregorio, which is the worst, one of the worst signings I've seen in the UFC in a long time. Trained with Marab and all those guys. He had the wrestling, but zero gas tank and zero toughness. Gave up, and I don't know. Like I cannot pick him. That's and oh, that's not even who he's fighting. But anyway, yeah, Toshiomi Kazama. His only win is Charlampos Gregorio, and I do not rate that at all. I think a win over Vince Morales is a lot better. It was a tough fight, but like it was pretty clear he won. And this guy beat Aaron Toe, which is like the Dan Hooker bantamweight. And I just think like Toshiyami Kazama, I has is been chinned a bunch, and Elijah Smith has the power to put him away. I think he's going to knock him out probably round one or two. Elijah Smith. Now, Gabriela Fernandez versus Julia Stolyarenko. And I'm not doing recency biased. I still would be picking Gabriela Fernandez, even if I didn't just see her come off a huge upset win over Kong Wang. She also beat Carly Judas, which that win is aging pretty well. Carly Judas is knocking girls out in the UFC. And lost by decision to Teresa Bleda and Jasmine Jasudavicius. Not bad losses at all. I like the way she looks when she fights, except against Carly Judas. I might have given that to Judas, to be honest, but she stuck with it the whole time. Like, did what she had to do to win. Good grappler. Julia Stoliarenko, like, is capable. Like, she's submission or bust. I think this fight's going to end by submission, most likely. Or Gabriel Fernandez. Yeah, I'm being so wishy-washy because it's like it's just my early thoughts, but I'm gonna be going with Gabriela Fernandez to get this one done, probably by submission and or knockout. But Julia Soliarenko is as excellent BJJ, so we'll see. But I think she's done, and this fight is also at flyweight again, which Stoliarenko before fainted on the scales for bantamweight. But she looked good on the scales last time when she weighed in for flyweight against Luana Carolina, and she got knocked the fuck out. Yeah. Probably gonna happen again. Okay, next up on the card is Julius Walker versus Rafael Cerqueira, and this should be a free win. If Julius Walker fucks this up, like, I'll never pick him again, and I won't pick Rafael Cerqueira. Zero chin. Look good on the regional scene, finishing everybody. He comes in, Ibo Aslan beat him, and Ibo Aslan, I don't know what the fuck Ibo Aslan looked like in his last fight against Billy Elikana. Was super embarrassing. Did absolutely nothing. It was a sparring match. Ibo Aslan, well, this was before Ibo Aslan got finished by Ion Cutelaba, but getting knocked out by Ibo Aslan 51 seconds in, and then Modestas Bukauskas knocked you out, even though Modestas does have power. He hasn't knocked out anyone in the UFC besides Rafael Cerqueira. And he's just not meant for the UFC. He's 35 years old. Julius Walker is 9 years younger, 26 years young. And say what you want about that fight, but he had a good fight against Alonzo Menefield. I wouldn't say it could have. I definitely thought Alonzo won that fight. It was a sweaty mess, but he showed he can kind of hang in there. And like Alonzo Menefield, like he's not bad at all, you know. Now Andre Fili versus Christian Rodriguez. I'm going Rodriguez. I don't trust Andre Fili anymore. I don't trust his chin. Way back in the day, I had more hope in Andre Fili, but no, not anymore. I think this is going to be an easy win for Christian Rodriguez, who has had mixed success at featherweight and typically losing to vets, but destroying the prospects, being Austin Bashi and Isaac Dalgarian, Cameron Simon, and Raul Rosas Jr., all the prospects, and then when he fights Jonathan Pierce, Julian Arosa, and Maquiel Costa, he loses. So it would be quite the funny career if he keeps beating prospects and losing to vets. So maybe it's live to pick Andre Fili, but you know what? Because of that, I'm going to go with Andre. No. But, you know, like something's telling me about that. Like he does, like, against crafty vets, like he just, these prospects, he's like, I'm gonna outwork the prospects, you know, with wrestling and just staying in there. But the vets seem to like know his game, and it doesn't seem to work on him. So we'll have to see, but I don't trust Fili's chin or anything anymore. Yeah, and Andre Fili is 35 years old as well. Christian Rodriguez is still pretty young, 27. I think I still have hope in Christian Rodriguez. I'm gonna be pissed if I pick him and he loses, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Christian Rodriguez to get this done. No, fuck, man. I don't pick against Miles Johns. I like his fights, and I think Jean Matsumoto is overrated. A lot of people called robbery in the fight against Rob Font. I don't think so. And his fight against Brad Katona was so close. I don't like how that looks. And Dan Argueta, ugh, I don't know. I think, you know what? Miles Johns, like, hits fucking hard. Like, the speed on Jean Matsumoto is, like, way faster because Miles Johns is a little bit slow. Can wrestle. I think Jean Matsumoto did take a little bit of damage in the fight against Rob Font. I think I'm gonna go with Miles Johns, actually. I think Miles Johns has like superior wrestling. Miles Johns did look good against Felipe Lima, who is a better prospect, even though he just lost to Peyton Talbot. Um, but yeah, he's 6-3 in the UFC. Jean Matsumoto is now 2-1, and I haven't been too impressed so far. Miles Johns has impressed me plenty of times. Finds a way to win. Hits hard, good wrestling. I'm going with Miles Johns to get this one done. He's probably an underdog. I do not have odds yet on this fight. Now, Yasmin Lucindo versus Angela Hill, and you could never count out Angela Hill. But am I going with Angela Hill? Fuck. Now I'm starting to think. Because Angela Hill, her record is very deceiving. She is super talented in this division. The fight against Tabitha Ricci was super close. Ketlin Souza, yeah, beat her. Luana Pinheiro submitted her. Denise Gomez, great prospect. Mackenzie Dern lost to her and got her ass kicked in that fight. That was a bit crazy. I don't know what Mackenzie Dern was feeling herself that night, so I didn't mind. Emily Ducote beat her. And a lot of split decisions that just didn't go her way. But I want to pick Angela Hill, but I like Yasmin Lucindo as well in this fight. I will go because Yasmin Lucindo just lost to Amanda Lemos. Besides that, looked very good in the UFC. Angela Hill can wrestle. I'm gonna go with Angela Hill. It's probably the last time I'm gonna be picking her. Depends on the next fight, but if she loses, I probably won't pick her again because maybe even though she's a woman, then the age doesn't affect it as much. We'll see. But I'm gonna go with Angela Hill extremely slightly. Now, Eric Anders versus Christian Leroy Duncan. I'm surprised to see a lot of people are picking Christian Leroy Duncan. I am as well, but ya boy, Eric Anders is capable of surprises. Looked great against Chris Weidman. Jamie Pickett, he did get dropped by Jamie Pickett. Not exactly a good look. And Marc-Andre Barriault, they went to war. Marc-Andre Barriault just went to war with Shara Magomedov. Broke his fucking nose. Kyle Dawkins. Christian Leroy Duncan is coming off a win over Andrei Puliev, which is just Andrei Puliev did nothing in that fight to adjust, and it kind of I'm worried because I had a pick flip from Nick Klein to Andrei Puliev in the card that's gonna happen on Saturday. Hasn't happened yet. And lost to Gregory Rodriguez, but he didn't get finished by Gregory Rodriguez. Knocked out Claudio Ribeiro, blech. Dennis Taulian, blech, whatever. Armin Petrosian lost to him. Ugh, that's a bad, it's a bad look. And he gassed in that fight. I want to go with Anders, but I'm going to go with Christian Leroy Duncan. I think it just like the age will maybe show in this fight. Anders is 38 years old, but do not count him out. I'm actually rooting for Eric Anders to win. Now, Steve, my boy Urseg, he should be the main event here, but I understand that Roman Dolidze and Anthony Hernandez is the main event. Steve Urseg is fighting Ode Osborne. And Ode Osborne, crafty, zero chin, at flyweight, and fucking Urseg hits fucking hard. Steve Urseg has impressed me many fucking times. Like, his fight against Pantoja, super impressive, and his fight against Matt Schnell, Alessandro Costa, David Dvorak is when he came into the UFC when I was first introduced to him. It was actually on my birthday. Well, a day before my birthday, but I was celebrating it that day, June 10th. Came into the UFC, big underdog against like number 15 ranked David Dvorak, who was not that bad, and got the win, and then went on to give Pantoja his toughest fight. Look good. Isn't it funny? Like, Kai knocks out Steve Urseg in the first round. Kai gets smoked by Pantoja. Steve Urseg got knocked out by Kai in the first round and had a close fight with Pantoja. MMA math doesn't always work. I don't know if I word that fucking right, but yeah, anyway, I'm tired. Ode Osborne looked good in his last fight against Luis Garuli, and like, he's super crafty, but like, I think Steve Urseg all day in this matchup, probably by knockout round 1 or 2. Like, Urseg is super well-rounded. He has like vet savvy, and like, he's still young in the game, 30 years old, and he's only had 6 fights in the UFC. This will be his 7th. And Steve Urseg's definitely going to get it done. He's going to get himself back in that picture. He needs a win to get his confidence back, and we'll see him back fighting for that belt again one day. And also, I have to say, not that Ode Osborne's bad, just Steve Urseg, I think, is a higher level than him. Like, Ode Osborne's still got power, and I've been impressed with many things. Now, Roman Dolidze versus Anthony Hernandez. I wanted to go... There's so many fights I wanted to go with, but I got to be careful. So Roman Dolidze has rarely let us down, even though I did pick Marvin Vettori, but I can never pick against Marvin Vettori. I don't know what it is. Italian fighter rigatoni. I can't pick against Marvin Vettori. But Anthony Hernandez, I think I'm going to go with him to beat Roman Dolidze in this fight. Anthony Hernandez has the better gas tank. And all Anthony Hernandez does is like outworks everybody, and like Roman Dolidze is like kind of slow. And we see he got hurt by Marvin Vettori. We see him get hurt all the time. He has not been officially knocked out yet. Has had quite a few good wins, like Kevin Holland, even though he busted his rib. Beating Marvin Vettori even still impressive. Like, Marvin Vettori, man, like, fuck, like, it's what a chin. Anthony Hernandez is probably gonna like submit and or KO. This is a 5-round fight. I think Anthony Hernandez is gonna get it done, but I am rooting for Roman Dolidze. Anyway, these are my picks for now. Maybe I'll have some pick flips later on in the week, but that's it.